Hey guys, That Comic Awesome here with another review, doing Phoenix Resurrection number 4. The first two issues in this series were followed a very, kind of the same formula of let's follow these weird occurrences split up into various teams and investigate. 3 kind of led them to where the Phoenix is living, and now in 4 we're actually going to go inside and see. And the two stories of like this diner waitress Jean and these X-Men are now going to like come together, and it actually makes for a very, very good issue. So at the end of last issue, Jean was confronted with herself as Phoenix, and it burnt down her house. It just engulfed it in flames. So she wakes up in the morning, and the house is obviously still just destroyed, but she acts as though it's completely normal. And this is where we get into some really good imagery. There's very powerful imagery in this book, and this is where we get into some of it. So again, you notice the house is completely, destroyed. Jean's waitress outfit is obviously, has burns on it. The sleeve is ripped. But no one seems to act like anything's wrong. I mean, you would think that if your neighbor's house burnt down, especially in this community that has seemed so close-knit, that you'd be like, hey, your house burnt down. Are you okay? But everybody's just acting kind of normal. But then weird things happen, like her neighbor is kind of like dead or whatever, and then all of a sudden, Jean notices she's not. But then I really like this imagery right here, where everything behind her is engulfed in flames, and everything in front of her is like normal. And we notice here that it's not just like as she's walking things are happening, it's whatever's behind her. So like she can't see it. So the guy, this kid who delivers newspapers rides past, and he's engulfed in flames. But then as she turns, this side is now normal, and this side is in flames. And I think that's actually a really powerful imagery of how the Phoenix is behind her, but it wants to be in front of her. It needs to it makes reference later in the book that the Phoenix is preparing Jean, and I think in preparing her, it needs to be able to come forward and be able to get in front of her. So I think that's like kind of what this is showing, that it's not there yet. Everything's not in flames. It's only behind her. So a double page intro page, which I think is kind of a waste of space, and just like a double page ad breaks up the story, and I think it's pretty useless. This could all have been one page and then skipped us right back into the story. So the X-Men are trying to decide what they're going to do. They've come across this dome, which is housing that town in which Jean is living in. And again, the imagery, I don't understand this, where Hank all of a sudden just goes like X-ray for a minute. Like it just, I don't know, maybe if I missed the meaning of that. If somebody else has an idea on that, hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think, because again, I'm kind of lost on that one. And then we get some really stupid dialogue from Bobby. So they come in, they walk inside, and they're now in this town that is engulfed in flames. People are dead everywhere. So Icemen, doing the thing that they should be doing, are trying to put out the fires with their ice powers. So then Kitty Pryde says, Bobby's, save your energy. None of this is real, I hope. To which younger Bobby says, ha, I made that joke the other day. What joke? This is not a joke. She is making a comment that, hey, don't bother wasting your powers, wasting your energy. This is all just an illusion. And I get that she says Bobby's, because there are 2 Bobbies. But that's not a joke, If he would have said something kind of witty and like a retort to, hey, there's 2 of us, then I could see. But this is just, again, a wasted word bubble, in my opinion. So they come across these a group of X-Men who have died. And they're the same type of creation that they had been fighting out in the real world, where they're almost like zombies, not zombies, but just like apparitions of their former teammates and enemies. So, obviously, a fight ensues, once they kind of have the, once they're, because they all agree, like, hey, these aren't our teammates, they're just, these apparitions, so, kill them, no harm, no foul. And then, of course, we get another double-page ad. And again, if you've followed most of my videos, you know my feelings on double-page ads. And again, you have this fight scene starting. You're kind of like, okay, yeah, fight scene. Nothing. An ad. It's wasted space. I know you need ads in comic books, but a double-page ad just breaks the pace of the story so much. So, remember, we just met a group of dead X-Men. Dead. These people are dead. Dead. So, there's a conversation here where Kitty says, the Phoenix is trying to slow us down. And then, slow us down, it's trying to kill all of us. And then Kitty says, everything always is, but nothing ever does. Nothing ever kills you because here's a group of dead X-Men. Something obviously killed them. It's kind of like, poor choice of words. Like, hey, not today, it's not going to. But it's like, nothing ever does. It obviously did, because there's a group of dead X-Men that you're fighting right now. So then a small group of them go off to try and find Jean while the others hold position. And they find the diner. And it is normal looking. So you see kind of the fire out there. And then some poor art choices. You have Tim Robbins here starring... It's not even Tim Robbins. It's like old Tim Robbins. Like I get Old Man Logan is supposed to be like older, but like he looks geriatric there. Like the pale skin just like looks like it's pasty and just like falling off him. Like he forgot to take his Geritol today or something. I'm not a fan of the way he looks. So then of course they see Jean and she's just taking out the trash. And again, the everything behind her is real. Everything in front of her is this magic illusion. I'm not going to go too far. I kind of want to go into this just one conversation right here because it is funny. So the diner's obviously empty. It's just Jean and this lady Annie. And they start having this conversation where Annie asks how Jean's date with Scott was, because there is an illusion of Scott Summers who's living in here as well. And she says, well, she couldn't go on the date because she had car trouble. The car breaks down, you take it to Mr. Hallett, Mr. Hallett's garage. And Mr. Hallett is pretty much the Wolverine of this world, this like town. And so she's like, oh, you take it to Mr. Hallett's garage, spend some time at the garage with Mr. Hallett, and he's fixing your car, this and that. And she's kind of like going on. It's like, yeah, you didn't want to go on the date with the nice boy. You took your car to the garage and got your engine revved, by Mr. Hallett. So, I just want to show one more page because it's awesome, and that's just the Phoenix shows up, and then geriatric Wolverine decides he's going to enter the diner. Yes, read this. There's only one more issue. If you're going to wait for a trade paper, that's fine. If you're an X-Men fan, I really hope and think that like this, along with a lot of what is happening in the X-Men books is pointing to a restructuring and a redoing of X-Men and kind of getting them back to being X-Men. Mutants fighting adversity, like coming from all different backgrounds, fighting adversity, and, you know, trying to coexist happily with the human race. Not, and I say that the X-Men were never about like being superheroes. They were all about like they were ambassadors to like for mutants to the human race. Like, and that's what I think they need to get back to in this. Like, you know, there's so many. They need to whittle down the team, make a core group, and then get back to the basics. But that's my thoughts. Subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys later.